Hey Jacob, we're at the West Mesa Community Center. What's happening here today?
So today we're proud to host our first annual job fair here on the west side in the 26th district for not only my community but for anybody who's looking for work here in Bernalillo County.
So the Workforce Solutions put out a report that showed that unemployment rates are going down, but today there were some indications that people who have fallen off the unemployment benefit rolls are still out there, and that it could be as much as almost 15%.
Yeah.
How many people have shown up here today?
We're about an hour in, and we already have over 300 people who have shown up today and come through this fair alone. I think what we need to keep in mind when we talk about unemployment numbers is the way we calculate that is it only refers to the people who are unemployed and actively looking for work. It doesn't include people who have been unemployed for so long that they've just given up. And when you factor those people in, I think the numbers are unfortunately a lot higher here in the state of New Mexico.
What are you hearing from people who are attending your job fair about their job hunt here in Albuquerque and across New Mexico?
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's tough. They're not finding positions open. There's enormous competition, even for entry-level positions. We've had a lot of people come through here today who are older workers who have been displaced, who are finding it really tough to compete in this market. We've had several veterans come through here today who said they've encountered a lot of difficulties. So it's hard. It's still tough out there for folks, and that's why we did this event today, to try and make it a little easier.
So you were a freshman in January and February during the first legislative session that ended with a tax cut for corporations. The governor indicated that would create jobs. Are you seeing that here?
No. We passed that bill. Several months later, Intel lets go of hundreds of workers. Our economy is still struggling, and we've yet to see the magical impacts of that corporate tax bill. I think it's also important to point out that in committee I asked John Barella, the Secretary of Economic Development, to tell me the names of the Albuquerque companies that were going to leave if we didn't pass that tax cut, and I'm still waiting for those names.
So have you started to develop a jobs plan yourself that you can introduce, and can you give us a preview on what might be coming in the 2014 session regarding jobs?
I think that there's two areas that I individually am focusing on for the next session. One is a bill that I'll be introducing with Chairman Ed Sandoval in the House to increase the value of the state's working families tax credit, to try and make it easier for families who are working in this economy to make ends meet. Secondly, we're in conversations right now trying to figure out how we get more Hispanic and minority students into the STEM education fields, not just at the university level, but beginning in middle school and elementary schools, that they're in a pipeline to success in this state. Those are the two issues that I intend to work on. I think as a Democratic caucus, in the Senate at least, we're beginning conversations about what we intend to put forward in the next legislative session as a caucus.
What does New Mexico need to do to diversify its economy, to attract industries and, curb the brain drain?
What we need to do, one, and it's a long-term struggle, is we need to adequately fund education and actually provide kids a quality education in the state of New Mexico. We've got to get away from this, education as a political shuttlecock. All this talk about the governor's education reform agenda, in my opinion, will do very little to help any New Mexico child. We've got to get a hold on our education system. Secondly, I think it just takes leadership. It takes somebody who's willing to lead this state, who's willing to go out there every day and sell what we have in New Mexico. We're an amazing state to visit. Our tourism industry is growing, and I think it takes a real leader to be able to sell New Mexico, to sell our people, and to make what we have here appealable to companies all over the country.
And have you had friends leave the state because of the lack of jobs? And when they land in their other states, what are they telling you about the opportunities elsewhere?
So I'll give you this example. When I went to Princeton University in 2005, there were 7 New Mexicans, educated, born and raised here in New Mexico, that went to Princeton. I'm the only one that came back, because there were no jobs and they didn't see opportunity back in their home state. These are enormously talented individuals in science and mathematics and physics and in the social sciences who just decided, hey, I'm going somewhere else. And I talked to my friends from college who live in San Francisco, New York, Washington, San Antonio even, where our good friend Mayor Castro is in charge. It's a totally different picture. there's activity, there's a sense of vibrancy, there's a sense of possibility that we don't have here in New Mexico right now. And I think that you need different leadership and a different tone coming from the top to get that to happen.
All right, last question. Are you optimistic?
Absolutely, I'm optimistic. I mean, I wouldn't be in public office and I wouldn't be doing things like this if I didn't believe in the quality of our people, in the possibility and the future of our state. I think it just takes all of us kind of getting involved, and so just as a legislator, I thought it was a good thing to do to try and help members of my community and do what I could to put my sort of actions where my words are when it comes to jobs.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.